You're done.
All right. Thanks everyone for stopping by and welcome to today's webinar, Dominate Off-Market Listings with MAPS Coach Christina Griffin. I'll make this short and sweet. Please note this meeting is being recorded. I will share the link in the chat momentarily to the MAPS YouTube channel where you can access the recording, and I'll have that available within 24 hours. Currently, everyone is on mute. However, we do value group participation, so we ask if you have any questions for Christina, please type them into the chat box following the meeting. If you have any questions about today's call or other coaching programs, please feel free to email us at fasttrack, FASTTRACK @kw.com. That's all for me, Christina. The floor is yours.
All right, guys, or the Zoom room, right? I can't wait till we're in
Zoom floor.
I can't wait till we're in person soon, guys. And I hope all of you, I'll be able to meet in person at Mega Camp coming up. So again, thank you for being here. I'm excited to share with you. So it's Amazon Prime Day. So hopefully you guys haven't impacted your P&L too much. And if you did, I hope it was in a good way. So I'm going to just share with you first and foremost a little bit about me. So I am a MAPS coach. I have an expansion team in 8+ locations in Middle Florida. I'm also the director of relocation for all of KWRI. I personally have done over 4,000 distressed properties. Our team has sold over 5,000 homes. Why am I the person sharing with you distressed or off market? I've done thousands of REO, bank owned, and working with institutions, investors, and short sales. Right now, and I would love you guys to, whether you raise your hand, or is everyone feeling an impact in the market right now? Or your market's a little different? You guys can shake your head or raise your hand. I know I coach agents across the country, and I know that even in Canada today, I coach an agent that was telling me how Canada is even feeling the impact. So right now is the time that we need to get back to basics. We need to think outside the box. And I'm going to share with you just some action items for you to work on today. Full transparency, I have an amazing course. Gracie, my right hand, will post in the chat on dominating off-market prospecting. So we have 12 weeks. A ton of high level, in addition to that, masterminds and Q&A to be able to, I'd say, get you through the next market cycle. However, we're going to be here to help and support you regardless of what's happening in your market. So I want to start it off first and foremost, and I want to start it off with full awareness and transparency. So how many of you, and Gracie, let's post the article that we stemmed to pull this from, the article that everyone, it was buzzing around social media, and we pulled this data based upon that particular article. And I'll have also Gracie, she will post in the chat any resources that we share here today, any images. Now, this is something that we pulled in real-time data based upon systems I use that if you guys choose to be part of our upcoming course, we'll be able to share with you a ton of transparency in what's happening in the market. But there was an article that was floating around Facebook, and I had my staff, hey, let's pull some numbers. Let's see real live numbers, what are happening. So do you know in your area how many pre-foreclosures, pre-probate? Now, what in the world is pre-probate? Pre-probate is when a death certificate is filed prior to the actual probate being filed. So probate is when somebody passes away, that they're going to file in the courts the probate to be able to take care of any of the assets that are happening with whoever the deceased is. So pre-probate is really the key indicator is unfortunately the death certificate. Absentee owner, so that is someone that doesn't live in the home that has liens on the property. It could be federal tax liens, HOAs. It could be income tax lien, it could be a county tax lien, anything. Bankruptcy, Chapter 7, as well as Chapter 13, and then tax delinquencies. These are properties that have delinquent property taxes. Now, we went through a several-year period, right, that went through probate. It went through pre-foreclosure, but we went through COVID. And COVID had something called forbearance. A lot of you hopefully know what that is. And forbearance did not mean forgiveness. Depending on who was the servicer for the loan and the servicer for whoever was going through foreclosure or couldn't pay their mortgage payment, they had a delayed payment plan. Some of them had the ability to pay it later, pay it in a few years, but a lot of times a key indicator for distress is that they can't pay their property taxes. So again, take this for what it is, but on June 30th, we pulled these numbers, and these are the numbers, and we did it based upon the article that came out, because I was just curious on, hey, based upon these cities that they say are going to be impacted, what truly is happening in these cities. So if you do not know what's happening in your direct area, this is definitely something that you can take for just an interesting transparency. But I want you to look at it as opportunity. So again, here is this particular aspect. Now, guys, some of you may or may not know the foreclosures or the pre-foreclosures or things that are happening, but because the forbearance agreements are lifted, and people are now on some type of repayment schedule on when they couldn't pay their mortgage, the pre-foreclosures are drastically going up in other parts. Now, I want you guys to light up the chat, and I want you to be able to put in the states that you cover. And I'm just going to show you a few different examples, and I'm going to explain to you why I want you to put the states. So we've got Georgia, we've got, oh, I love this. Okay. So, and I'm getting a lot of questions on data sources and things like that. Please know that there are so many of them, and be full transparency. Any data source that you use, you have to make sure that it's a system that it scrubs the do not call. So the do not call in the Consumer Protection Act, and Gracie, if you can post in the chat the disclaimer around the do not call, is going to be important for everybody. It is something that is non-negotiable. You have to utilize a system that scrubs the do not call, that you comply with the do not call, and that if you have any questions, your state or your regulations in your particular area, you guys follow it without any issues. And again, my amazing assistant is going to post the disclaimer in the chat. Now I have a lot of different states, and I love that you guys are being interactive. Now, this is one of my favorite resources. Now, why in the world am I sharing this with you? Auction.com, I personally have done over 500 bank foreclosures on auction.com, but this is one of my favorite sources, which is this universal website that goes across the country that shows real up-to-date foreclosure sale dates. Now, I want you to understand, and OffMarket, and you're here for OffMarket, so part of me showing you those data points is to create awareness and to open your mind up to what's actually happening. But pre-foreclosures is a great off-market source for you to prospect for. We're going to talk about a ton of others. In my course, I give a ton of action items on how to be able to handle pre-foreclosures and many other sources, but auction.com will give you your foreclosure calendar. Now, I want you to keep in mind, you guys as agents can sell in the entire state. Many of you are certain areas specific, but if you're working with investors, I want you to open your mind up to the possibilities that you can work with investors that can buy anywhere in the state that your license is in. And that's something I do teach you in our course. So I'm going to just, for giggles, I'm going to show you Florida because I live in Florida. Now, this is going to show you how many properties have physical foreclosure sales. These are not properties that are notice of defaults, because there are a lot more. And I want you to understand the difference. You've got the notice of default. That is when public record is filed that they are in the foreclosure process. So that's when it is first known that they are going through foreclosure. This is what I'm showing you is the end of the spectrum. This is the foreclosure sale date. Now, many of you are on here and you're probably thinking, man, I may have or may have not hit my goals so far, but if you need to make up for that and you need to do it quick and fast, this is how. So these are properties that have foreclosure sale dates. These are properties that they need to sell their home and they need to sell it now. So you're going to go and you're going to type your state, maybe you're going to type your area or your county, and you're going to go here to asset type and you're going to click it down to foreclosure homes. Now, in the state of Florida, we have 428 properties that have physical foreclosure sale dates where they're going to lose their home. Now, you may be looking at all these dates in Florida and may say, okay, the 13th, we probably can't do anything with. What should I focus on? I'm a big proponent of focusing about 2 weeks out. Because that gives you the time to get a delay on the foreclosure sale or to be able to close quickly with a cash buyer. Now, if you guys don't have cash buyers, maybe you haven't thought of investing in real estate lately to create and grow your own wealth, or you want to expand that arm of your business. That's something I teach you guys how to do. So I'm going to challenge each and every one of you to look and see what's happening in your direct area. Now, a lot of you are not going to have states that you can access the foreclosure calendar because a lot of your states are a little antiquated. Well, I'm blessed. My particular state has everything online. And here's the cheat code to it, or gets you there quick and fast. If your state says Vidit County site, it's going to bring you directly to your county's foreclosure auction calendar. If it says it's in person, and I'll show you an example of that, that's unfortunately where you're going to have to just focus on here or go in person. And in my course, I teach you a ton of how to do that. But again, I'm in Florida. I've got here the auction calendar. I want to be able to make sure that I'm going to sell properties and I'm going to sell them quick and I'm going to sell them fast. I'm going to take about 2 weeks and I'm going to look at all these different weeks and I'm going to pull up the properties that are there, and I'm going to find the phone numbers after you skip trace and you scrub the do not call. Make sure to look in the chat, and I know Gracie will post that do not call disclaimer. You're going to go door to door. Again, getting back to basics, a good old fashioned golden letter. Gracie, let's post an example of some golden letters for the agents to be able to download. A golden letter is, I have a buyer interested in buying your home. Would you be willing to sell? So a letter that you're going to post on their door, I call it ding dong ditch COVID style. You're going to put something on their door. You can knock, or you post it for them to call you, or you send a letter or a bat signal for them to be able to connect with you. So again, guys, this is just a fundamental of off market. And the first fundamental is pre-foreclosures. And I teach you guys how to own that. But this is an actionable item that every single person can do. Now, I see a ton of people that posted that they're from California. So I'm going to show you an example of a state that does not have their foreclosure calendar public. And California is a good example. There's 978 properties that have foreclosure sale dates. Guys, these are people that need our help. Now I hit the asset type, dropped it down to foreclosure. We have 926. So in my course, I'm going to teach you how to find this information, how to create the investor relationships, and how to have these conversations and and put the buyer and seller together, or for you to create your own wealth. But I'm going to encourage every single one of you to find an area that is closest to you. And even if you're taking the address, putting into tax records to find the owner's name, and you're putting a door hanger on, you're sending a golden letter, or after you scrub the do not call, you are picking up the phone and you are calling that particular seller, that it's very important that you guys do that. And that's going to help you grow your business. And that is that now business that's going to help you grow. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to just give you that do not call disclaimer, because it's very important. So you need to never call or text a number on a do not call. Do not use a dialer to call a cell phone or leave artificial messages. Callers who violate the National Do Not Call Registry and the Telephone Consumer Protection Act face potential catastrophic legal damages. The Telephone Consumer Protection Act regulates calls and text messages made using certain technology. The TCPA, and yes, I'm reading this to you because, guys, it's important. The TCPA includes the National Do Not Call Registry and also regulates telemarketing calls. Real estate agents who violate these laws face stiff regulatory penalties and or potential catastrophic legal damages. Contact an attorney to determine if your practices follow TCPA guidelines. In addition to federal laws, several states have laws governing telemarketing. Consult an attorney to determine applicable laws in your area. And yes, I read that quick. What I want you to know is you need to reach out to your office, your attorney, your broker, and get the laws for your state. But I want you to look at getting back to basics. I personally have been an agent for 20 years. Yes, I've been an agent since the day I got out of high school, as you can tell. And doing a letter or going door to door, that is something you don't have to worry with that do not call. So guys, get back to basics. Some of the teams I coach, one of the biggest roles that they're hiring for right now is actually a full-time runner. So how many of you know people that maybe it's a summer, maybe it's things that they need that job? What would it look like is if every pre-foreclosure in your area, that every day somebody or you were putting a simple golden letter on their door. So I'm going to help you get back to basics and create a plan. So again, I'm going fast, but I want to make sure to give you guys as much info as possible. So what is off-market? Off-market real estate refers to properties that are for sale, but not in a traditional sense. That we're familiar with. The only way the property is made known is typically by word of mouth or through broker to broker. You need to make sure to reach out to your office to find out what the rules are in your particular state. I like to look at off market as almost handling a for sale by owner. You have this seller and you have the buyer, and you fit the opportunity together. However, being able to think out of the box will help you create a lot of opportunities. Now, I am going to go again fast, but I want to make sure you guys have some actionable items. And again, in my course, we totally teach you so much on how to implement these. I got a ton of messages on divorce and probate and pre-foreclosures and properties with liens. What resources, what script do you guys use? And that is, I'd say it's a loaded question because every area is different, but do know that we teach you and help you along the way on all of those aspects. And we've got some high level masterminds, but direct mail. Gracie, let's go ahead and post the Yellow Letters site, resources, the Amazon links that I like, the golden letters, which are the neon letters, and the neon Astro Bright paper. I have been an agent for 20 plus years, and I will tell you guys now more than ever, the things that I did 15 plus years ago are working better than buying leads. I like to create opportunity, and that's part of what I show you on doing our course. So direct mail marketing. So you guys need to have an availability or the systems to be able to pull the data in your area where you know who the absentee owner is, who the pre-foreclosure is, who the probate, who the divorce, properties with liens and everything in between. And that's something I help you with. But I want you to look at keeping it simple. If you're doing direct mail right now and you're doing it and it's a postcard, I want you to look at what that return is. The seller needs to open, or the owner needs to open an envelope. That's going to help you get a higher response rate. And you need to also have a different phone number attached to each mailer so you track return of investment. And that's something that I help and I coach you on. In addition, online resources. One of my favorites, and guys, this is probably keeping it a little simple, and you may or may have not heard this, is Zillow. Many of us don't talk and don't like to speak about Zillow, but when you go to Zillow, I want you to actually create searches where they go to you personally for all of your buyers that are looking for properties. And here's why. Because Zillow actually has a feed that the for sale by owners in the pre-foreclosures and other off-market type sites feed to Zillow. So if you have a buyer that's looking for a 3-bedroom, or you have a buyer that's looking in a certain area or certain distress, as soon as that for sale by owner hits, or that pre-foreclosure hits Zillow, when that notice of default's filed, you're going to get an email, you're going to open it, and you're going to reach out to that seller on behalf of your client. In addition, marketing, networking. If you have not heard of, they're called REIA groups. Those are real estate investment associations. I want you to Google your county, your city, your area, and REIA. Now, again, in my course, I teach you how to have great relationships with investors. And that's something that I personally have created the foundation of my business 20 plus years ago, where I would go to these investor groups. I would be the agent that prospected for off-market listings. I would rent the large bus that would house all the investors. I'd go to a bank foreclosure or a distressed property with a lender, with a contractor, walk through the home, and I would become that expert on distressed properties. So how can you become that expert that works with investors? Now, the beautiful thing around investors, guys, is investors create multiple opportunities. I've worked with investors that I've worked with for over 10 years, and those investors
on the YouTube.
Hold on. Hold on. Looks like someone had mute. I'm going to mute them. All right. So, hold on. All right. So guys, I've worked with investors. I don't know about you guys. I like having relationships with investors or institutional investors that create hundreds or thousands of potential opportunities. So there are investors that I personally work with that own over 60,000 homes. So having relationships with investors, or you becoming the expert in your community that work with investors, that's going to allow you to create a ton of opportunity. When is the last time that you have personally reached out to your investor database or your database that you currently have and just asked, are you interested in reaching out to are you interested in investing in real estate? I'm going to show you a really cool tool that many of you may or may not know exists. So there is on Keller Inc. And hold on one second. It's being a little slow, guys, and I apologize. So Keller Inc. You go to Keller Inc. Okay. And you go here and you go to resources. A lot of us don't know this part exists. Now, why am I sharing this with you? The Millionaire Real Estate Investor right here has a ton of tools and resources for free to you. Investor workshops, buy and hold worksheets, I teach you how to take these tools and resources that Keller Williams provides and connect them with investors to create opportunity. So this is a great fundamental that you guys can start doing to work in your particular business. And this is a free resource that part of being in my course, and I'm going to help you with the data to be able to provide the opportunity to help with the resources for your investors. So again, the Millionaire Real Estate Investors here, it's free. You've got the investor workshop presentation. What would it look like if you posted in Facebook groups or you posted on your particular, it could be your database, or you just ask the people in your phone that, are you interested in investing in real estate? Right here is an entire workshop that will help you become that expert. And part of being in my course is I'm going to show you how to become that expert. So again, there's a lot of other things, from the shift to your first home to flip, but I help you with those resources. So I wanted to make sure to show that to you guys, because you may or may not know that that exists, and it's a pretty cool resource. Okay, so I'm going to just look at some of the questions, and I have a ton more, but guys, make sure, so Paul, if you're not with KW, you can those resources are free for you to download, but you can join our group course, then join KW, and yeah, let me see, it looks like Dominate Off-Market Listings doesn't start till September. So it doesn't start till September, Paul, but what I would tell you is as soon as you join, you're going to be part of a Facebook group, and we have a ton of awesome things that we're going to be able to provide to you right away. What about when the site says, do not contact the owner of a property that is scheduled for auction? Okay. So auction.com, this is a great question. So auction.com says don't contact the owner because it's scheduled for auction, but look at your state rules and criteria. Something I want you to understand is every single solitary owner in anywhere in the US, up until the day the property goes into foreclosure, that owner has full rights to that particular property. So you can contact that owner without an issue, and there's no issues around that. So again, it says don't contact the owner. A lot of times, make sure you hit the foreclosure button, because that may be the bank owned. Because in the bank owned section on auction.com, they don't want you contacting the tenant or the occupant if the bank owns the property already. So our foreclosure is really a big thing coming in Florida. Well, what I would tell you, Janice Garcia, my team covers most of Middle Florida, and all of our counties have over 1,000 plus pre-foreclosures. List pendants, the same as the letter you're referring to. Gracie posted the letter. Skip trace is a system that you skip trace the phone number. You skip trace the contact number to find the best phone numbers for the client that are indicated on the do not call or not. So that's something I help you with. Auction.com is for free, and just discovered a great, I love that, Mindy, that you found a house that is going up foreclosure August 9th. So yeah, guys, I want you to understand when we're dealing with off market or we're dealing with some distress indicator, we are the experts that are there to be able to help them and provide that knowledge no matter what they're going through or that solution. Yes, MAPS will be sending the recording, and then let me get just a few more questions. Okay, looks like yes. So till September, but guys, keep in mind, we have a great Facebook group, so you guys can join it immediately. As soon as you guys join our course, you'll be put into a Facebook group, and you'll already have resources and things that you'll start to be able to networking with. Now, real estate agents, and I have probably about 10 more minutes, guys. So bear with me. I want to be able to offer you some action items that you can go and implement into your business. So real estate agents in your market center, real estate agents that you know, if you guys have, and Gracie, let's share with them the pipeline tracker that we use. If you guys should know, I have these 5 buyers looking in this area, and you should be able to share with other agents that you know what your pipeline is. And agents are a great resource, as well as Facebook groups of other real estate agents as well. And you just share with them, I have a client looking for a certain area. Builders and contractors. Guys, right now, builders, a lot of the areas, and I don't know about you, we have builders in Florida that decided they don't need us anymore and they want to cut our commission. Now they're begging for us back. However, I don't know if you guys remember at family reunion, Gary had this shirt saying got dirt. Dirt and land and opportunity is a massive, massive opportunity for you as agents. So look at your MLS, look at the small to medium-sized builders, reach out to them and ask them if they're still interested in buying land. What would it look like if you had the resource and you understood how to find the land for them, and you put the land and you put the builder together, and then you created that second listing opportunity? And that's something that I show you how to do. Wholesalers are investors that are basically, they're either buying and closing on the property, or they are doing what I teach you guys how to do. Our course will teach you how to do everything that a wholesaler does. And what I mean by that, it's they use words called like bird dogging and driving for dollars. Wholesalers take a property that is in need of repair or at a lower price, and they take a margin and they flip it to the other person without doing any repairs. Guys, I'm going to show you how to create those opportunities, whether it's for building wealth for yourself or to help your clients find properties or whatever that looks like. But wholesalers in your market, and how do you find those? I'm going to show you a quick action item on how to start working with investors. I want you guys to go to Facebook. Many of you may or may not know that this part exists, but I want you to go to Facebook and I want you to type in the search. And I'm going to type in mine, and I'm going to share with you in a second what that looks like. But I want you to type, and you guys have to look at, you have to talk to your broker on what wholesaling requirements are in your states, because some states are not allowing wholesaling to be involved. A broker actually has to be involved, which is really amazing for us. So guys, I just typed in here, Florida investors. Type in your county, type in your city, and then type in investor and go to groups on Facebook. You'll see here, I have more groups than you can imagine, and I'm in my favorite groups, but I'm showing how you guys can start creating relationships with these investors and wholesalers that I will show you how to bring an opportunity to create a lot of greatness. Now you'll see here, Florida investor deals. There's 36,000 people in this group. There's people that are posting things on, are you selling? I have a house for sale. And these are people that are ready, willing, and able to buy or sell homes that you need to start reaching out to. So if you're not doing this for your area, this is going to help you create opportunity. And again, I teach you how to do this on a high level for the course. As you guys can tell, I'm more of an action item type coach where I like you to walk away with awesomeness to be able to put into your business. So let's recap. We have auction.com. We have golden letters. I showed you how to find properties that have foreclosure sale dates. I showed you how opportunity and an overview of stats on what's happening in your area. You're going to go to Facebook and you're going to put your area in investor groups, and you're going to start talking to people. You're going to ask people in your own Facebook, you're in your own database, are they interested in investing? You're going to take a look at the resources within Keller Inc. I want you to know that creating the opportunity and becoming a hunter will help you more than ever in any market that you're in. Now, the last thing that I'm going to summarize is called driving for dollars. Driving for dollars, Gracie's going to post the one of my favorite, I'd say, apps for door knocking. I want you guys to understand that when we become aware of our surroundings, it creates massive opportunity. And here's why. When you drive for dollars, this is what investors have been doing for, gosh, probably since the beginning of time. I know I've been an agent for 20 years, and that was the fundamental that I was taught at the very beginning. When you're showing a home, or let's walk around your current community, let's look at the house that's overgrown. Let's look at the house that the paint needs to be repaired, that the roof needs to be repaired. Maybe it's the house that the trash cans haven't left a certain area. Become aware of the homes that are vacant in your area. Write the address down. Pull up the property and contact the seller. I teach you actionable, executable ways to do that. But right now, guys, that is one of the biggest things that you can start doing to create opportunity. What would it look like if you just picked 12 addresses a day or 12 addresses a week, whatever your income goals are, and you sent out a letter? That house that's overgrown in your neighborhood, it could be a probate, could be a divorce, it could be something that they're in distress in some ways. And I will give you the plan. I will give you the path to do that. So actionable items, let's get back to basics. Let's have an awesome door hanger or a letter. Guys, Gracie posted the letter. Graham, are we able on the recording to send out some of the assets for people, like the letters and things like that?
I can, well, when I send you and Gracie the recording,
okay,
with the rosters with emails, do you want to do that from there? Does that sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Okay, so guys, those that are watching on the rewatch, I've gotten a ton of messages on the chat, and can I watch the recording? We will send you guys an email with the letters, the fundamentals, the resources. But I want you to look at your area, getting back to basics. The expireds, I'm going to give you an example. A lot of you sent me messages privately that you prospect for expireds. I don't know about you in my area, the do not call list is higher than ever, the people on it. What would it look like if the ones on the do not call, that you took all of those and you took a simple golden letter, or you took a letter and you posted it on their door, or you sent a letter in the mail, because everyone else skips over them. We're going to teach you how to get back to basics, how to look at the off-market properties, and how to create the biggest amount of inventory as possible, and how to work with investors and so much in between. And I know it's just my style. I want you guys to be able to come and have things you can go and implement into your business. I want you to keep it simple. I want you to keep it action oriented. And I want you, first and foremost, those foreclosure sale dates. If you don't do that, that's going to open a lot of business for you guys. So guys, go back as far, 3 to 5 years, expireds by mail, or even your daily expireds. Look at your daily expireds or your daily pre-foreclosures, the system you use, and those that are on the do not call, put something on their door, send a letter. Sky's the limit, guys. I know I just threw a ton of info at you. I'm excited about our course. Those that have, many of you in here have done my prior course. This is the same fundamentals and so much more on the advanced level. So if you want to learn probate, you want to learn working with investors, growing wealth, and creating opportunities, I'm going to show you how to do that. So make sure to stay tuned for the email. Those that would like more info, or you want to download those letters right away, if you're watching on the rewatch, go to ChristinaGriffin.com. That's my blog. And at the very top, you're going to see download tips to get more referrals. That's going to give you about 20 plus referral sites that you can join, plus all the letters and a ton of other things, and then a ton of videos that I teach on as well. So you guys are awesome. I thank you all, 200 plus of you that joined, and I'm excited to see you again. And I hope you join my class coming up. And thank you, thank you, thank you. All right.
Thank you too. Thank you too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Much love. See you later.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.